welcome to Dump Truck Toolbox. I'm Alan, and today I'd like to tell you the story of when I almost died under the wheels of a truck. Thank you for joining me on the channel today. I want to talk about a time that really, as far as I know, the closest I ever came to getting killed so far in my life. Spoiler alert, I survived. You probably figured that out on your own. So let me set the scene for you. In 1976, I graduated from high school. My dad was working for NASA, and he had a special assignment out in New Mexico at the White Sands Proving Grounds, doing of all things, testing a helicopter ejection seat. So my brother and I decided in the summer of 1976 to head out to White Sands, New Mexico to visit with my parents. My brother had a 1975 Ford Maverick two-door. It was almost new. It was, I don't know what, 9 months old probably. And we're heading out from Virginia to New Mexico. Interstate 40 was under construction and not been completed at that time. We were going through Amarillo, Texas on surface streets. I was driving. Someone changed lanes in front of me and then accelerated away. And I was somewhat distracted by that. Red light, or a green light in front of me went yellow and then went red. And I saw it right as it was turning red. I had plenty of room to stop, so I applied the brakes. This is important now, this detail will be very important later. The right brakes locked up. The left brakes did not appear to be working. This car, with me driving, did a perfect 360 to the right and slid to a stop right in front of the stop line for that traffic light. And so my brother, who's a mechanic, is sitting next to me. It's his car. And I look at him and I go, we probably should get these brakes looked at. And he said something, oh yeah, I'll look at them when we get back home. So, didn't think anything more of it. We got to New Mexico, had a great time, did a variety of things. It's a beautiful part of the world. Bring your sunglasses. When they say White Sands, they are not kidding. Before you walk outside, you got to put your sunglasses on. My dad was working, obviously, so one weekday while we were there, we said to my mom, well, what should we do? Where should we go? And so she suggested we go up to Ruidoso, New Mexico. We're heading back, and the road between Ruidoso and White Sands, two-lane road, very flat desert. About every mile, there was a runoff, a ditch, or a dry creek bed or whatever. And so the flat road, you'd come to this and there'd be a bridge, and you'd sort of go up and over and back down to the level of the desert. So we're on this, like every mile, whoop, and then you move on. And so my brother's driving. We're trailing a semi, a tractor trailer. My brother, pulls up behind him and decides to go on around him. Pulls into the oncoming traffic lane and floors it and pulls up alongside the tractor, the trailer of the tractor trailer. And then in front of us, coming up over the bridge, is another tractor trailer, heading right for us. My brother, looking down the road, decides, too close, I'm gonna drop back, so he gently applies his brakes. The tractor trailer driver next to us looks down the road, apparently, and decides, he's not gonna make it, and gently applies his brakes. So our car and the tractor trailer beside us are staying in lockstep. We're pacing one another. My brother decides, I better slow down a little more, and puts on his brakes a little more. The truck beside us does the same thing. We continue to pace one another. My brother decides, time to get serious, puts the brakes on really hard. Remember what happened back in Texas? Same thing happened here. My brother's Maverick attempted to spin to the right. It didn't succeed because there was a tractor trailer next to us. The front end of my brother's car went under the trailer and the rear wheels of the trailer went up over the hood, crushing the engine compartment and obliterating the right front tire. Meanwhile, coming down the road, that other tractor trailer sees what's developing and decides he wants to stay out of the whole incident, and he stops probably 400 yards away from where our car and the truck next to us slide to a halt in the middle of the road. In my view, all three drivers did the appropriate thing in the moment. My brother did not push it, trying to shoot the gap between the two trucks. The truck beside us slowed down to ensure that my brother could drop in, he thought, in front of him. And the oncoming truck had enough foresight to say, I don't want to be part of this incident, and puts on his brakes well down the road. The fault, of course, was my brother and I should have never left Amarillo, Texas, 4 or 5 days before, knowing those brakes were bad. The bottom line, though, is that those two truckers were attentive. They were driving defensively. They were watching out for this errant four-wheeler trying to make a pass. And the two of them, especially the oncoming truck, the two of them saved the life of my brother, my mother, and me. I was reminded of this long ago incident in New Mexico the other day when I was driving my big orange triaxle with a full load down the interstate. I was approaching a clover leaf. There was a fair amount of traffic entering and exiting the interstate. And so I moved to the center lane to get away from the messiness. A car in the far left lane decided abruptly that they really did want to get off the interstate. And so they darted in front of my big orange triaxle. At the same time, another car was entering the interstate, and rather than slowing down to let idiot number one in, this second idiot decided to abruptly yank the wheel to the left and accelerate and shoot the gap between idiot number one's car exiting and my big orange triaxle. Okay, I did what I hope any truck driver would be doing. Coming up to this situation, I already have my brake covered. I have my right foot over the brake pedal. When the car in front of me does this dart move to the right, I apply my brakes. Not hard, I don't slam them on, but I apply my brakes. I'm just taking some speed off the truck. When the car entering the highway is accelerating apparently into the rear bumper of the car that just cut into his lane, I say, not good. And I put on my brakes sort of medium hard and was able to slow down to, 40, 45 miles an hour, down from the speed limit of 65. And the idiot or psychopath who was entering the highway was able to shoot the gap. And when I say gap, I mean like 20 feet. And if I had maintained my speed, or even if I had just coasted there would not have been enough room for that person to make it in. And so as a truck driver, we have a special responsibility to be attentive to all the vehicles around us, especially the four-wheelers, expect them to do something dumb, and then to be ready to protect them by driving our truck defensively. So this is Alan. Thank you for joining me on Dump Truck Toolbox. Like this video if you found it interesting or useful. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Comment below, and I hope to see you again soon on the Dump Truck Toolbox.